Hello and welcome to livealittlehigher.com. Rosh Chodesh Tov. We begin the month of Kislev, the month of vision, the month of miracles. It's a month of light and a month of hope. So during Kislev, during this month, which is the month in which we celebrate Hanukkah, our hearts are especially in tune with fulfilling the true vision of why we are in this world, what's our purpose here, what's the true meaning of being in exile. And it's a month in which we realign. It's like a chiropractic adjustment in which we realign all these dreams and all these hopes, and we put them in the right track so we can really live a miraculous existence, because Jews live a miraculous existence. If you don't believe me, there's no common sense, there's no explanation of why we're still here. With all this anti-Semitism going through the ages, all these wars, pogroms, terrorism, Holocaust, slavery, you name it, Inquisition, and we're still very much alive in this world. So the month of Kislev is a month of dreams, and according to Rabbi Yitzhak Ginsburg, he gives us a beautiful explanation. He says that in the Torah, we read during the month of Kislev, we find most of the dreams mentioned in the Torah. So during the month of Kislev, we read all these dreams, and in the 5 books of the Torah, we find 10 explicit dreams through the whole Torah. And one of them, which is the first dream, which is the dream that Avimelech, the king of Gerar, had, appears in the Torah in the portion of Vayera, which is in the month of Heshvan. The rest of the dreams, the other 9 dreams, appear in the Torah portions of Vayetze, Vayeshev, Miketz, which are all read during the month of Kislev. So according to the well-known Torah principle that one should live with the times, like this is what the sages have taught us. They say that we have to live with the Torah portion of the week. This is the Jewish horoscope for us, because in every week, the energy of the week contains what we need to learn that week. It's very much in tune to what we're living. Like I give many Torah classes, and it's funny because sometimes I give like the Torah portion to a big group of people, and people come to me afterwards and they say, Margie, you know what? How did you know? And I say, how did I know what? He says, you were talking to me. You gave me the answers to my questions, and it doesn't happen with only one person. It happens with many. So really the Torah is a book of life, and it's very much alive, and it's very much in tune with everybody's life and what everybody's going on, having to deal with in their personal lives. So the topic of dreams would be a proper meditative subject during the month of Kislev, because the Torah is full of dreams in this month. So during this month of dreams, one should strive to examine and clarify in one's soul the topic of the dream, to plumb the depths of its roots into the soul, and to solve its riddle in a good and proper fashion. So I made some investigation about dreams. It says that every person has around 3 to 7 dreams every night, which is very interesting. Sometimes you wake up and you feel you didn't have a dream. You can't even remember what you dreamt. And sometimes you wake up and they feel very much alive. You feel you were living that dream. Like this week, I had a dream that I was sweating because I forgot to cook for Shabbat. And I didn't have time to go and buy the food, and I didn't prepare. And when I was getting home, I was already late, and I didn't even light my Shabbat candles. And suddenly I'm lost in a park, a water park of children, and I can't call my husband and tell him that I don't know where I am because it's Shabbat. So I suffered. And the sages teach that when you suffer in a dream, really that suffering it's like suffering when you're awake. It's like whatever you have to suffer, you suffer in a dream. It's like you're cleansing yourself. It's part of your cleansing. So it's better to suffer in a dream than to suffer in real life. So when you wake up and you say, Baruch Hashem, it was a dream, thank God, You're like sweating it. Like I was lost in this place. I didn't even know where I was, and I couldn't call my husband. And I wake up and I realize it was not true. Then it's like, what a relief. And the suffering really is a cleansing process. So it says that we have around 3 to 7 dreams at night, every night. And they can last seconds or they can last 30 minutes, a dream. You can be in a dream for 30 minutes. And I've had dreams that it's to be continued, and it continues and it continues. I bet everybody has had these dreams. And we had concurrent dreams that we dream many times, the same dream. So what is going on when we're dreaming? It says that the moment you're dreaming at night is really when the brain is also active. And this is when you're at the moment of your sleep where you have deep sleep, which is called the REM cycle. And this is when we're dreaming. And the brain is just as productive at that moment as it would be when you're awake. It's the same thing. So when we're the reprocessing of what's in our subconscious. So what we really dream about at night is what is dormant in our subconscious. So that's why it's so important to fill our days with good thoughts, to see nice things, to read good books, to listen to good music, because all these things go to our subconscious and then they are dormant during the day, but at night they pop out. Also, the Talmud says that 1/60th of a dream is really prophecy. And that's why it's so important that when you tell a dream to somebody, you make sure that you tell it to somebody that's gonna say good things to you. Like, if you have a bad dream and you come to somebody and he's gonna tell you horrible things, then it can become true. And what you should do is always tell your dreams to somebody that will tell you, what, this means that you're going to have a long life. It means you're going to become rich. It becomes you're going to always be healthy. That says something good about the dream, because it can be at 1/60th of a prophecy. And the same Talmud says, no dreams are without nonsense. So even though you wake up the next morning and you say, what a crazy dream, it really doesn't make any sense that I was lost in a park, in a water park, and I didn't know where I was, and suddenly I'm in this place. There's no nonsense in the dream. Like, really subconsciously, you could really think like, okay, I'm scared to be lost in life and not know where I am standing. I need to know where I am. So it's very important to see who's gonna interpret your dreams and make sure that they always say something positive about them. And the prophecy, in the times of the prophets, we don't have prophecy in these days, but prophecy really is geared towards the future. It's telling us about what's gonna be. Like when we had the prophets, they used to prophesize about what was gonna be with us. And the good thing about it is that when a person does teshuvah, a person transforms, he changes. Every day we wake up, we have a choice, we have a new day. We can choose right from wrong, and whatever we choose, it's gonna create our destiny. So really, as much as prophet comes with prophecy, it's never like written in stone. It can always be changed. But a dream, it's felt to be so real, and really subconsciously you are living the dream. Like when you're sleeping, it's not something of the future, it's something that you're really experiencing at that moment. That's why it's so important that when you wake up, you assess the dream and you really try to see what is the message of that dream, so you can really correct whatever it needs to be corrected or live your dream. Because sometimes it's amazing dreams you have that are talking to you about things that you have really deep inside of, yearnings and hopes that you have inside of you, and you don't have the courage to go and live these dreams. So going back to Rabbi Ginsburg, he says that each month is associated with a particular gemstone from amongst the 12 gemstones that were in the breastplate of the Kohen Gadol. And the gemstone of Kislev, the 9th month, which corresponds from the month of Nisan, which is also the 9 dreams, is the 9th stone of the it's also the 9th stone of the breastplate is called the amethyst, which in Hebrew it's called an aklama. In the book of Hebrew roots of the Radak, he explains that the root of aklama is halam, which means dream. So there's no coincidences in the Torah world. Everything is really exact. And whomever wears one of these amethysts in one finger will very likely see dreams. So we know that the principal Torah figure connected with the dreams, both as dreamer and as a dream interpreter, was Yosef Hatzadik, the son of Yaakov and Rachel. And he was nicknamed by his brothers the Master of Dreams. And the 4 dreams preceding those of Joseph in the dream of Abimelech, Jacob's first and second dreams, and the dream of Laban were transparent and did not need special interpretation. So the dream of Abimelech, who was the Pharaoh, Jacob's first and second dreams, and the dream of Laban were transparent. You didn't need to interpret them because they were very straightforward in what they meant. In these dreams, God or an angel appeared to the dreamer and directly revealed information to them. It was direct. You don't need to interpret. You don't need to meditate and see what is they trying to tell me. It was very direct. And the two dreams of Pharaoh, they required interpretation, with the 2 dreams of the ministers of Pharaoh that were in jail, that they told Joseph their dreams, and Joseph interpreted them for them. And so they had become enclosed in the imaginative faculty of the dreamer's soul, and appearing in the form of allegory and riddle. So there are some dreams that are straightforward. You don't need to look a lot to understand what they're meaning, but there are some dreams in our life that need to be interpreted. We really don't pay much attention to our dreams in general, unless it's a very shaky dream. But it's interesting to look what you're holding in your subconscious. It's interesting to see what are your fears, what's holding you back from something. They can say a lot about you. And by understanding them, you can really work on them and really do amazing things. So yet the solution to Joseph's dreams, the prostration of his brothers' sheaves, and the sun, moon, and 11 stars to him, if you remember that he dreamed that these sheaves were bowing down to him, was transparent, because it was exactly 12 sheaves. So it was 11 sheaves. It was the 11 brothers. And then Joseph also had a dream that the moon and the stars and the sun were bowing down to him. And this dream meant that it was also his brothers and his mother and his father that were bowing down to him. So here we see that his father Jacob understood that the meaning of the symbolism of Joseph's dream was that they were to come and prostrate themselves before Joseph. And Jacob wonders, saying in Genesis, "Do you want me, your mother, and your brothers to come and prostrate themselves in the ground for you?" And nevertheless, his father waited to see the result. He waited, and he knew this was how it was gonna be. So from this, it is clear that just as Joseph the Tzaddik, the foundation of the world, is an intermediary that connects the spiritual and physical realms, in the secrets of the verse recited in our daily prayers, in the morning prayers, we say, "Even everything in heaven and earth translates as that is in hold of heaven and earth." He also is an intermediary that connects the transparent dreams which do not need solutions, enigmatic dreams which need interpretation. And the later stemming from a high sources, since enigmatic dreams are an expression of God's essence, which is manifested in the ability to sustain the paradox. Here, Rabbi Ginsburg finishes off saying that another form of the Hebrew root halam is haklama, which means health, in general, physical and mental health. It's talking about both. And it says that the recovery from illness is particular in thanking God after being sick and recovering. King Hiskiyahu prays, "Restore me from the root halam and make me live." And today, homeopathic doctors or naturalists have explained that the appearance of a dream is in one soul is similar to the phenomenon of a sick person sweating. So as I said before, when you're sweating a dream, when you're suffering a dream, you're really expiating suffering in this world. Like, it really takes away pain from the world when you're suffering in a dream. So when you wake up from a nightmare, instead of being shocked and scared and whatever, say, thank you, Hashem, you took pain away from me in a dream. That's cheap. At least you wake up and the nightmare is over. Sometimes we have nightmares, real nightmares in this world, and we wake up the next day and the nightmare is still there. So what it's saying here is in that the sweating is the separation and secretion of waste from what is wholesome. And this process is one of the first signs that the sick one is in the path of recovery. Like a person that never sweats, it's not good. Like if a person goes and exercises and then runs a marathon and he's not sweating, it's dangerous because you create toxins when you're exercising and all that. So when you're not sweating, all these toxins are not coming out of your body. So he says here that through the separation of waste products, it is certainly an important external property of the dream at a deeper level. The dream serves to reveal in one's soul God's light, providence, and will. So the dream serves to connect us to Hashem. And we find that the presence of evil or waste products prevents divine revelation. So when a person is not being able to get rid of all this evil, of all this waste that he's carrying within him, that is heavy, toxic thoughts, toxic speech, toxic actions, then this is a formula for sickness. And when we get rid of all this, when we get rid of bad thoughts, toxic people, toxic everything around us, and it's like sweating, then this is the beginning of healing. And so because of its health nature, the inner, so this is what this is what Rabbi Ginsburg comes to teach us this month. So we should learn to look at our dreams. We should look at them in this new way, not be scared of him. It's just a healthy process for every human being. In another sense, Kislev is a month of dreaming, is a month of hope. We should use our dreams to reach higher heights in our life and to hope and dream for a better future for ourselves. And remember that the light of Kislev should really light the way for us. We should really connect to this principle. And in that way, we will live a little higher. Thank you.